Miku sounded great singing too. I will say that the one difference that I noticed between like the album versions and the live versions, when it came to the vocals, was I felt like there was more of a separation between Miku and Psyche in the sound when they were singing together. Not like a separation in that like it wasn't working together, just that I thought it was more obvious what the different voices sounded like when they were singing together live versus the album, where I think they blend like and probably intentionally so. They've got production on albums and stuff like that where you can you know mess with the levels and stuff like that. You can't do that live, but I thought it gave it more of a raw feeling, which I really like. I love raw sounding live shows, you know. So but it still sounded really, really fucking good. Them working together, just it was obvious who was singing when they were singing.
I think I realized that with Miku. I think what happens on the albums, you get like your main vocal, then like an octave vocal, and then you get a harmony in there, and they're both doing them. And Miku would sing the harmony that wasn't just the octave, you know, copy. So she'd sing that, you know, whatever step it was, harmony. So you hear that distinction a little bit more. Like like you said, there's not as much kind of holding everything together. You get that separation. It's really cool to hear.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Did you notice anything like that, Alan?
I agree with everything you guys are saying. As far as you guys talk about vocals, Miku, when she came in with Rockin' Me later on, I really loved hearing that tone in her voice, and it was amazing. I loved it. I mean, I feel so like blessed to be able to hear Saya Nakadori and Rockin' Me by Miku. I just like you guys know I love her vocals. They're like my favorite. I really do. I just something about her vocal style I really like. And Psyche was, I agree, the most impressive. And I realized that at the LA show. The LA show was where actually I realized that Aftershock. Aftershock, I'm like, holy shit, this is way better in person. Way better in person. The CD just didn't do justice for me. And we were talking about before we started the podcast. I've been listening to Domination like. I know I got in BAND-MAID, like, you know, became more of a fan when Unseen World and Ryan and I were talking about it. And now I'm really, really appreciating Domination. Is actually becoming a favorite of mine.
Between the two songs, the two Miku songs, which one did you like more? Sai Nakadori or
I can't choose. I can't choose. They're both were equally amazing because there were two different ranges of her voice. There were two different ranges, and they showcase what Miku can do on different registers. Because it's a completely different sound when she does Rockin' Me, and I like both of them a lot. It's really hard for me. What about you, Ryan?
Rockin' Me was one that I was kind of like, when I first heard it, and as I've been listening to him, every time it came on, I liked it. I say this to so many songs, but I literally liked it more and more. And instead of like waiting for it to be over so I could hear the next song, I was like kind of looking forward to it. So after hearing the Sonic Adori a few times, when that came on, it was at Philly, right? I think.
Sonic Adori, yeah.
I was so fucking happy to hear it, and how I don't know, man. I was way more excited to hear it than I thought it would have been, especially a year ago. But when it came on, I was like, fuck yes, I want to hear this. I didn't realize how bad I wanted to hear that song. And it was I felt similarly in that one. Oh, it was just great, man. And you know, you're right. It's a very different way of singing, and it's like more kind of where Sonic Adore is kind of, she's pushing her voice and it sounds great. Rockin' Me is like she's in the fucking zone. It's right in her comfort zone, so it just sounds so great.
I feel like I had the opposite reaction to you, Ryan, about Rockin' Me. The first time I heard Rockin' Me, I was like, damn, this is like such an underrated BAND-MAID song. Like this should be like at the top of the list type of thing. And so I like Rockin' Me album version almost like twice as much as Saya Nakadori, to tell you the truth. I'm like a really big fan of Rockin' Me, not as much about Saya Nakadori.
Saya Nakadori hits me on an emotional level, I would say. That's what it is for me.
It's got more of that melody to it, I think, but live it was the complete opposite, like literally the complete opposite. I liked Saya Nakadori so much more than Rockin' Me. Wow. Like to the point where when they played Rockin' Me, I wasn't like disappointed that Rockin' Me was being played. I was like, oh cool, it's Rockin' Me, like I'm happy that this is happening. But I was also like, oh, does this mean we're not going to get to hear Saya Nakadori again, you know? Because I was looking forward to it after hearing it the first time in Philly. I was looking forward to hearing it in Jersey, and then I didn't get it, so I was a little disappointed by that. But it was cool that we got Rockin' Me too.
I gotta say, somebody mentioned in the chat though, like with Miku songs, they're always my favorite song, almost on every BAND-MAID album. I don't know why. Like I feel like they go so. Maybe it's because she's doing something different with her voice, so like the guitar just goes harder or something, or something happens with those songs where it's just completely different. And whenever a Miku song comes up on the album, it's like refreshing, if that makes sense.
I feel like there's less. I feel like there's less like how do I say this? Because I don't want to have this come off as like a negative, because it's not a negative. But in the Miku songs, I always notice that it feels like there's less clutter around it. Like there's like more open atmosphere in those songs most of the time. And when they play them live, I feel like it's almost like you can grab onto each note a little bit more. I always notice that about like simpler songs live. Like the more complicated a song is live, the harder it is to separate the blend of the live mix sound or whatever. A song like Sayonaka Dori that just starts off with the vocals and the palm mutes, you know what I mean? Like it's really obvious what's happening. You hear every note. So I just think that really like adds on to the live experience when you've got a song like that in your set list, to separate the songs like Influencer and From Now On and stuff like that, which are like really like intense. You know?
Yeah.
For more Gaijin goodies like you just saw, be sure to subscribe to the Gaijin Guys podcast and turn on all notifications to be part of the live stream every Sunday. You can also find us wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, etc. You can find even more exclusive content and reactions on our Patreon, patreon.com/Gaijin Guys. I'll see you there. Adios.